Hello, thank you for joining me. My name's Claire and I have a 2-card tarot reading for you. It's Tuesday the 30th of May. So if you're new to this channel, I'm here every day and I give a reading every day for you. So hopefully that will help and guide you along your way. Let's see what the cards are today. I'm going to pick this one actually because it didn't want to go back in the pack. And this one. Right, so what did we get? Oh, okay. Now, we had this card. This is the Hierophant. We had it in a different pack the other day, about a week ago, I think it was. And we've got the 9 of Emotions. All right, so I'm going to just leave that one there just for a moment and talk about this card. What I like about this card, and, you know, with every tarot pack, you've got a different spin on the cards. This Muse Tarot here is all about finding your creativity. But what I'm really drawn to in this picture is you can see a really tiny person there, and you can see this person there, and then you can see this being, almost like a spiritual being that they are looking up to. Now, as I'm looking at this, I've got the message that they're different versions of the same person, as opposed to with the Hierophant, it's usually like a teacher in some way that you're looking up to. But I'm getting the message that this is our higher self. Okay, if you've ever done a spiritual meditation or any kind of, you know, group work where you're introduced to your higher self, it can always be quite enlightening how you show up as that higher self. Now, this lady is obviously, you know, she's obviously naked, but she's got her head covered. But out of that, we've got this beautiful colour. I don't know if you can see that. I think the lights may be shining on it. But it's almost like stuff is radiating out of this lady out into the universe. And I kind of feel like this one, and like this is maybe past the person that you were many years ago. And I feel like this lady is the present. And I feel like this is looking up for the higher self. So it's very interesting concept to be put with the 9 of Emotions, because let's bring ourselves back down to earth with the bump. Say this is our present person. Say that this here is actually this person trying to make sense of their life. Now, the 9 of Emotions, she's absolutely plunged into water, but she is meditating. So I really feel like there is some kind of call to meditate there, or at least contemplate what your higher self would look like. Okay, so imagine the best version of you. What job are you in? What's your partner like, if you've got one, or you're on your own? How are your relationships with your family and friends? Where do you live? What do you do for fun? What do you do, you know, to relax? All of these things, I kind of feel like they're the questions that we need to ask ourselves today. Creating that higher self person in our minds and moving towards it, because the 9 of Emotions is very much a very fulfilling card, where you are completely at ease with your own emotions. You have made sense of your emotions and they're no longer controlling you, or you're very happy, your self-esteem is very high, and consequently you're not affected by what other people do. In fact, if anything, like this picture here, you're giving out wonderful, healing, positive vibes, and they're what coming out in the universe and what's coming back to you. So there is a real call there, I think, and that ties in very nicely with yesterday's message. If you didn't see it, we had the 3 and the 5 of Wands, and it was very much like the different approaches that we take to try and move on in our lives. And there was a calm approach and a chaotic approach. I feel like everybody maybe looked at that and thought, you know what, I think the calm approach is a bit better. But that does take, and I feel like the 9 of Emotions is reminding us that that does take a little bit of inner work, okay? No one can turn up on your doorstep, knock on the door and go, oh, hi, this is your higher self. All of that work comes from you. So, you know, you may need to create some boundaries. You may need to create some space so that you are able to take a bit of time out and think about what you want out of your life, who you want to be. I don't think it's about what. I think this is, although obviously the law of attraction does play a part, I think this is about deciding who you really, really do want to be in your life, how you want to be feeling and how you want to show up every day. I took quite an important step, really, to be a little calmer, a little bit more grounded, because I do have a tendency, which is a skill, to, you know, do 100 things every day. But I'm now thinking, do I need to do that? Do I need to fall into bed exhausted every other day? Probably not. You know, it's that kind of finding that really nice level, isn't it, where you're just appreciating every day, because it's the, you know, what you've got to do, or the people around you, or your own thoughts and feelings are not overwhelming you. So the higher self is going to be very different for every single one of you, but I do feel that this is a collective message, and I do think that this is yeah, maybe been the theme over April and May. We're coming to the end of May now, so I do feel there's been a lot of change and a lot of things showing up that's making us realise that, you know, quite a lot of the changes that we want to make in our lives do start with us. Okay, so tomorrow is the last day of May. I'm going to do an energy card reading tomorrow. I might chuck a little angel card in there as well for good measure, just to see what we sort of collectively learn throughout May, and then have a little look at what's ahead for us in June, because I think it's going to be another quite exciting month where lots happen. So come back and join me for that. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. It's always lovely to get new subscribers, so thank you if you're new, and thank you if you're here every day. I really do appreciate it. All right, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Bye for now.